carry 3 in your bag, hoodie?
3 of them. Well, 2.
Do you? Well, dude,
One's an injector, one's a
I had to teach how to do the nose spray at my work because I'm the safety captain.
Go on.
I'm the safety captain.
What is
Who's
that?
the safety captain?
That's all you got?
Saul's the safety captain. Guess what, guys? This is not just a regular.
Let's have a safety meeting.
Hey, welcome to another episode of This Is Our Normal Podcast, but this is also a special episode. This is our middle of the week 3 Amigos episode. What's going on, guys? I'm sitting here with the other 2 Amigos. I'm your host, Saul Jones, and I'm sitting here with my other amigo, Joel Cowan, our producer.
Hey, what's up, guys?
And Brian Hood, our co-host.
That's me.
And we're going to try to get one of these episodes out sometime during the middle of the week, each week, in between. We're still going to bring you our one episode a week with the guest on each week. But we're also going to try and have a 3 Amigos episode each week where we it's just 3 of us. And, you know, we're going to have different segments that we do, but we're also going to tell some fun stories. This will be more of like a funner episode, not as dramatic as the other ones. Although we might get dramatic. That was Joel, clearly.
So you're saying this is going to be bonus?
No.
It's not bonus, bro?
No, bro. We're doing these now. You're in.
All right, cool. No, but it's still bonus.
Yeah, you're right.
All right.
But before we get started, I would like to remind everybody to go to the website at thisisournormalpodcast.com, and you can hit the contact link on there. You can contact the show with that link, and you can, through the contact link, you can set up something where you can come on the show, or you can even come on the show via phone, or you can reach out to us if you want to be part of the show through just speaking to one of our prior guests. If you have questions for them, if you have questions for us, if you just have something you want to say, you know, we'll read some emails over there. But also on the website, there are links to iTunes, Spotify, Google Play Music, Stitcher, all that good stuff, along with all the episodes that have already been played, and links to all of our social media. Go there as well. These episodes, especially the ones like today, which is recorded here at the Serenity House, Sober Living, is brought to you by the Serenity House, Sober Living.
That's right.
Hit the contact link on the website if you are interested in sober living down in Orange County, and both men's and women's. We now have a women's house as well, and we will we'll get you in touch, and we will get that set up for you. But let's jump into it, guys. So this week's lead amigo is gonna kind of be Brian Hood here.
Lead
Hoodie,
amigo.
because I asked Hoodie to prepare a couple stories that I wanted him to tell. But dude, okay, check this out, dude. I was going through Twitter today, and I saw this thing on kratom. You guys all know kratom, right?
No, what's that?
Yeah, kratom's the one that Saul relapsed on way back where everybody went, you fucking relapsed on kratom, you little pussy. Yeah. Kratom is it's related to the if you don't know what it is, it's related to the coffee plant, or whatever you want to call that. It's related to that, and it's just a plant. It comes from like the Middle East. It comes from the countries of Mangda and Bali, and what it is it reacts off of the kappa receptor in your brain, the kappa opioid receptor in your brain.
Yeah.
And it reacts just like an opioid. It gives you similar effects. They do have different strains of them now, where different strains, still, by the way, not done in any labs or anything like that. It's just the plant itself, just like how marijuana.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Dude, no, and let me just stop you right there, by the way, just the plant, because fuck no.
Listen, hold on.
You're going to keep going.
Before you even get into this, as addicts, people that suffer from an impulse control disease, we cannot do any substance. I believe, in my belief, because that can be dangerous.
Sure.
I mean, I don't want to say can't do. I'm saying like me personally, I cannot do any substance. If I do a substance with my impulse control disease, I've tried it. I tried it with the fucking kratom, and it spiraled. You know, we saw what it did. It spiraled. I ended up doing meth later. You know, and
weird.
It just, you know, I don't want to say can't though, because everybody's different. But in my experience, and So I get I know where you were going with that.
I don't know if you do.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I agree.
Go ahead.
Most people can't, but it wasn't to touch on that subject. More so, just a plant. How do you know what the fuck you're buying from a smoke shop or from Walmart? Or
they're FDA approved now.
They're FDA approved. Just like organic is organic. I mean, you really don't know what you're getting in these capsules.
Yeah.
Dude. Different strains. You mean genetically modified in China to have? It's just like the
or
bath
Mangda
salts
or Bali. Were you not listening 2 seconds? I gave the 2 countries. You couldn't go with one of those two?
No, because that's not the one shipping shit to our country with fucking weird stuff.
Actually,
like
you know what? I am
salts?
probably the dumber one on there.
Bath
I bet.
salts. Need I say more than bath salts? No, and the fake weed, the potpourri that you'd smoke, just all the shit.
Well, those were all different chemical compounds that were made up to try to look like drugs like cocaine and methamphetamine and stuff.
So
they tried to mimic.
They've already been finding stuff in kratom that is not kratom.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. That was before they came up with the ones that are like.
Okay.
They've been FDA
all right,
approved.
then right on.
But here's my thing with it. My thing is with the kratom. Okay, what I saw the tweet, right, where all this is coming from, I saw a tweet that said there were 90 U.S. deaths over the last year from kratom related, right?
Really?
Whether overdose, whether from salmonella in the kratom, right? Just from whatever.
I mean,
now you're talking to a guy that kratom wrecked me. I should hate the stuff, but I also, while I know I can't do it myself, there are benefits to this if it's used in place. And by benefits, I mean over medications like methadone or Suboxone or Subutex. I don't understand. I tried to look up the stats before we came in here. I was real quick, so I couldn't get it on deaths related to methadone or Subutex or buprenorphine. Before coming in here, I couldn't find them. I even tried reaching out to AAC and some other companies, and nobody could give me the stats. I even Googled, how many related deaths to that, and went to some of their sites. All it would give me, all it would come up on those sites is what to do in case you think you might be having an overdose. Even if you go to their sites of, I think this medication might help me, first thing that comes up is, in case of an overdose, do this, because they want to prevent the deaths, because there's so many, right?
So if you think you too much kratomed.
But yet when you Google kratom, it's not like warning, because those are legal.
Yeah,
the things
Amazon.
that come up when you go to those websites, I was saying, those come up for legal reasons. Right. They have to have those on there because there's so many deaths that they have to have them. Kratom is not as dangerous as those things. Now, kratom, much like buprenorphine, it works off the kappa receptor in the kappa opioid receptor in the brain, right? Mm-hmm. It doesn't work off of the mu receptor. So most opioids work off both. So if you take like hydrocodone, you'll get both. So when you take buprenorphine, that has it works off the kappa receptor, and then it has a blocker in there. That's why you go into treatment. They wean you off with that. It has the blocker from the antagonist receptor. It plays an antagonist on the mu receptor, so that if you try to take another opioid, it'll force you into precipitated withdrawal. Right?
It's. I mean, in my experience, it's more like if you take it too soon, withdrawing from opiates, then it has that effect. Right. If you take opiates after having taken that, it's not so much as a dramatic effect.
I agree with you. I've messed around with that too. I noticed though what I was able to do in my past was I was able to use kratom to get me off of the last little 2 milligrams of the buprenorphine to do that last little jump that everybody's so afraid of. I just think, I think we'd have a lot better success if people were using kratom, doctors, medical facilities were using kratom, not just the general public. I don't think it should be available everywhere. I think it should be controlled. Right. I do, because it does work as an opioid. When it's not an opioid, but it does act like one, and I think it should be controlled. But I don't think it should be banned, and I don't think it should be, the DEA has tried to ban it once. It didn't, that got overturned. I don't think it should be banned, but I just thought it was funny when I see this 90 deaths, blah, 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 and it's like, and this was from a very, profound American Medical Association.
Allegedly.
You
Allegedly.
but
Come
Come on.
Anyways, that was all I wanted to say on that. Enough of my preaching. So let's get into some stories.
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
Just to stop you.
Yeah.
The whole kratom thing. My beef with kratom is
Have you ever taken it?
No. Don't care to. Don't give a fuck about it.
You've never even taken it at all?
Here's my thing, dude. If I'm gonna go do drugs and get high, I'm gonna go do my drugs.
That's what you told me after I relapsed on that, and you said, "You fucking idiot!
Well,
Why would you waste your?"
After having worked in treatment for so long, and seeing so many of my clients go and take this shit just to try to replicate the feeling without pissing dirty,
right?
But it's so stupid because then it takes people out. I've seen it take people out.
Oh, the cross addiction,
like you.
Yeah.
Cross addiction for sure.
That's what happens.
It's just, and that's my problem. Everyone thinks it's like, well, it's not drugs. It's I can buy it at Walmart. No, fuck you. You can buy alcohol at Walmart too. But if you're an alcoholic, you shouldn't be buying alcohol. Like,
yeah. No, real quick, I do want to say I'm not a doctor. I don't even have a college degree on anything. So I don't want anybody to. I did 5 minutes of research on this right before we got in here. I don't want to be quoted on any of this. I got a little fired up before we came in here.
That's all right. And this is all guys. This is all personal experience and everything that we think that we know or have lived through or have read online. Don't ever take anything too seriously. Like, go if you don't believe it, go fact check it for yourself.
And if you do believe it, go fact check it for yourself.
And if you find out something different, please let us know because we would like to know.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Thank you, Hoodie. Yes. Email us. Go to that website, thisournormalpodcast.com. Hit the contact link and let us know because I would love to hear the reality. If there's anything that's ever said wrong on any of these podcasts, I would like to know the truth to it, so that we could correct ourselves in the future. That would be great. We've said it before on here. We're always willing to grow and learn as human beings, and that's important. So yeah, thanks for saying that, Hoodie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, good call, man.
Joel, how you doing over there, man?
I'm watching the screen.
I know you are. I love it.
Trying to make sure that I can also participate.
Joel is the ultimate dual tasker over there.
Dual
man.
tasker?
He's
multitasker.
There. That's the word I was looking for. See, this is the dummy
He's
you're talking.
Wielding his
this is the dummy you're
computer
talking to. I don't even know words.
Joel, I had a question for you, man. Before I forget, have you ever done kratom?
No,
okay,
I have no idea what that was.
All right, well, the more you know.
Joel, what have you done opiates at all?
I took a Vicodin when I was 17 when I dislocated my shoulder, but I didn't get hooked or anything.
As prescribed.
As prescribed, yeah.
Not even. He was like, yeah, those doctors, you know them.
You never know.
He's like, they're always over prescribed.
And then I dislocated my shoulder again.
You know Western medicine.
What's up with your shoulder, bro? What have you been doing?
And they got prescribed codeine, and I just took it as prescribed. I mean, it made me feel really
kosher.
good, but I didn't get hooked.
Yeah, that's the
so wait, I'm sorry, I talked over you. What was the codeine?
Oh yeah, that was the second time I dislocated my shoulder.
I want to know.
Wait, they gave you codeine pills or
yeah, the pills.
Okay.
No, Saul, the stuff that you snort.
Well, they give you liquid codeine sometimes
that
too.
You snort?
No. I mean, you can.
All right. I mean, don't give me. Joel, what's up with your shoulder, bro? What keeps going on with your shoulder?
Oh well, the first time
I thought they looked a little loppy. I was looking at him. I thought it was from carrying his fucking all his notes around.
Yeah, whatever, guys.
It's a lot.
I thought it was from being so much smarter than us two fucking dummies over here. How do you put up with us, dude? How the fuck do you put up with us?
I just let a lot of it slip through one ear, not the other.
Right. Hard with headphones.
No, I listen.
Poor Joel has to deal with this, man. We're the two couple of fucking dummies, and then this guy in the room.
No, you guys are smart.
He said, you realize where the pause was? He said, "You're smart in your own way."
So I guess you're mind readers too.
Hey, what did happen with your shoulder?
Oh, dude. So I was snowboarding, and it was like the last run of the day. I don't think that's an uncommon thing for a lot of people to get injuries that way. And I was like, I'm gonna jump off this. I'm gonna take a little leap off this mogul, do a little board grab. And then I totally don't know what happened other than I just it was really ice.
He's like, Mario!
Yeah. I thought I was in a Mario Brothers game. But snowboarding, I don't know if that's a thing, probably. Because they come up with everything for Mario.
Just tell me you were going for a star, not trying to save the princess.
I was trying to get a 1-up. A life.
This guy.
And then I lost my life. At least my shoulder.
I was going for one of those little cocaine stars I saw.
Right. Well, I wasn't addicted to cocaine yet.
Yes.
But, it's like I said in the previous episode, it happened. So,
but you're all good now?
Yeah, I haven't had it. I dislocated it again. So, but that was
morning,
when I was
this
20
morning. It's still a little.
This morning.
He's old, but I had to power through for the cast.
when I was 22.
pod.
When I was 22.
Anything for the pod.
And that time I was able to pop it back in the second 2 times, which is kind of crazy. I was just like, how do I get this thing in? And I just kind of felt it, and I just went. I kind of
you popped your own shoulder back into
the
place.
second 2 times, yeah. But
Beast
the first
mode.
time I've dislocated my shoulder 3 times. The first time I had to go to the hospital, and what they do is they extend your arm and they keep pulling your arm and you keep pulling your arm until it just sucks back in.
They give you Rufalin for that, right?
No, they gave me Vicodin.
No, I mean before they.
Oh, I don't know. I was too gone.
Exactly. You don't know because they gave you Rufalin. You don't remember.
Oh no, I was awake during that. I was awake during that whole process, dude. It was just like they
thought. Yeah, that's what all of Cosby's victims.
Yeah.
Said.
I don't think they gave me. You know, honestly, I don't think they gave me any.
He went there.
Okay, whatever, man.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But honestly, like, I don't think they gave me anything because they just said we're just gonna pull on your arm until it goes back in, and then I immediately felt relief of my arm, and then
my grandpa,
my shoulder.
He had popped his out one time, and my mom and me took him to the hospital. Probably others too, but I just remember specifically me because I'm a good guy.
Right.
And then my mom and they gave him. I remember her just calling it the date rape drug. But they gave him Rufalin and so that he wouldn't remember. But you still go through all the pain right then. You just don't remember it. And he didn't, So after they had popped it in, he's like,
just to be clear,
I
did not take Rufalin.
No, I'm not saying you did. I'm not saying you did.
I'm saying in this case, yeah, for this guy, No. But yeah, for the situation you're talking about.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Joel was taking Rufalin right at the hospital before.
That's what we just established. All right. Anyways, let's get okay.
Do you got some stories for us or what, Hoodie?
I do, man. And you just reminded me of one, as a matter of fact.
This must be a story about a very attractive young man.
So here's the thing: it's not a story about me per se. I mean, I was there for perspective, and I was there to witness. But
different story. I want to hear one. People want to hear one about you.
But you already touched base on the subject,
all right, go ahead.
And it had to do with buprenorphine.
Go ahead.
And so for those that are listening and think that Suboxone is not dangerous, when I was in jail, I did have, I had someone come in, another inmate, and he had snuck in some Suboxone and some Xanax.
How'd he get it in?
He just carried it in and said, this is mine.
Put it in a lunchbox.
Yeah, for anyone who's ever been to jail or fuck TV because that doesn't display it correctly, but you know how stuff gets into jail. All right.
I've got a question. You said you snuck stuff into jail.
Yeah, and that's how it got in there.
Okay.
Your prison purse. There's no other way, man.
What did you sneak in when you snuck it in?
A 1/4 ounce of heroin.
Allegedly, if you allegedly snuck something in, that's what happened. Okay.
Yeah, black tar roofing.
A 1/4 ounce. How big is your asshole?
That's 7 grams. Do you even do heroin, bro? It's not that much.
All right, so back to your story.
You've taken much bigger, trust me.
Anyways, back to your story.
So yeah, I'm in there. I was a tank worker. I'd been in there for, I don't know, probably about a year. And this guy came in and he was like clearly up there crushing some blue pills on his top bunk, and I walked by and I was like, that's fucking Xanax. And then my homeboy knew him, like this dude that I kicked it with in there, like knew him from the streets. And he's like, yeah, that's my boy, this and that. I was like, well, tell him to stop throwing up all over our fucking stalls upstairs. Like, I'm not cleaning that shit up. He can clean that shit up, right? And so I went and had a talk with dude the next morning. I'm like, hey, bro, you got to stop cleaning. Or I mean, stop cleaning. You got to stop throwing up all over our shit upstairs. I'm not cleaning your messes up. And I had to go talk to his.
There's a pecking order in jail, right?
There is, and with every race or the cars as they call them in there, there's someone who holds the keys or a shot caller or whatever you want to call it. Whoever's in charge, right? So I had to go. He was of a different ethnicity. He didn't run with the same people I did. So
okay.
I had to run downstairs and talk to his guy.
So like, hey, the one shot caller talks to the other shot caller? Is that what happens?
That's how it's supposed to happen. Okay. Otherwise, shit pops off.
Okay.
So, but anyways, I went to talk to him. His name was Mick. Mick, if you're listening, man, I hope you're not still locked up, dude. So and I was like, hey, your boy upstairs. You
guys get close? Is that what happens usually?
Dude, like, it's about respect, man. For me, that's how it is in life and what it is when I'm locked up. Like, if you're respectful to me, you're going to get it right back. I don't care. you know, if you've been to college, if you're homeless, if you're respectful to me, I don't care what color you are. It doesn't matter. Like if you're, you know, you're gonna get it right back. And he was.
It's amazing because it's like there's these two different groups of people that are so segregated that you have to have a shot caller for each one, and those that for anything to happen, the shot caller for each one has to talk to each other. I mean, we're talking for one guy to tell the other guy off. That's what has to happen, right?
Yeah.
And these two shot callers become so close that you got one guy telling the other guy, "Hey man, I hope you're all right," basically over the airways years later.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
like
for sure. No, he's a good
cool.
dude, man. I
cool.
got a lot of respect for that guy.
Yeah.
He was in there on some bullshit, if you ask me. But anyway, so I had to talk with him and this and that, and one thing led to another. He had to talk with his the dude that was in his car per se. And
what car?
Where I was locked up at that specific time was Placer County Jail, and there was it was a prison pod. 90% of everyone in there had been to prison, and if you hadn't been to prison, you were on your way. So that's who it mostly was. But there was
what percentage of guys were drug charges?
Were what now?
Were drug charges or drug related charges? If you had to guess,
any jail and any prison, it's I don't know the exact number, but I promise you, it's at least 3/4.
Really?
At least.
I mean, I know there's an actual statistic, but I'm saying what field
that's
did
why
you
I don't want to quote. But
but I'm saying at the time you were there, what did it feel like?
I don't ever remember meeting anyone who wasn't fucked up in some way or had a problem with something. Yeah. To be honest,
I feel like
I know the statistic isn't 100%, but it's a lot.
Me and Joel were sitting there one day. You remember that, Joel? We were looking up statistics, and there was something like it was like damn, Joel, what was the numbers? Like 1.7 out of like 27 million addicts were locked up. So it was about
60%.
No. 60% of people locked up were addicts. These aren't the real stats, but what I'm saying is out of all the addicts,
out of
all the population, it was like one
7%,
out of every 7 is an addict, right?
Yeah.
And then out of all of those addicts that exist, it was something like 1 out of every 7 of those was locked up.
And if they weren't currently, they were about to be or have been.
Right. And there's a lot of us end up. That's why I love you sharing these stories because this is an experience that a lot of us can relate to. Is just being in jail. Period. And I haven't. I mean I've been to jail, but like not like this. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, in some of it's wrong place, wrong time. Like some of us get lucky and we get through our addiction. And we reach the other side without ever having to go through that. Yeah. But for some of us, like me, we fucking need that. Yeah. I personally needed that. Yeah. And, a lot of it.
Yeah. You said before on your episode that it saved your life, possibly. That.
Possibly. 100%. I believe it very well could have. And who's to say that it did? But just like the military school thing. Yeah, man, it's like when you can't control your own fucking life or yourself, you need someone else to do it for you. And don't get me wrong, I didn't enjoy a single day of it, but maybe it's the best thing for me. Who knows?
Well, when I compare probably the amount of I don't want to say parenting or like maybe structure that your life had in it growing up. Right. Compared to the structure that mine had around it, when I compare that and then compare maybe like rehab to jail or prison, I kind of like, not that rehab is anywhere near jail or prison, but I mean that was kind of my jail, having my structure that I needed. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's different.
I needed that direction. I
think it's worked very well for you, and I don't think that even though you still relapse after you left Hope, even I did too. But I think it was a good stepping stone for you because if you would have gone to Vegas your first time around, I don't think
I tried. I tried to go to Vegas first.
Of course you did.
Before going to Hope, I told on one of the podcasts I tried, and I stayed there 3 days at the same at AAC at American Addiction Center. Place. For basically the same one, and for 3 days, and had to call. I called Emily and gave her like code words of like, "Come get me,"
Bust
basically.
Me out.
And she did. She drove. Dude, she worked all day, drove down there, picked my ass up, drove 5.5, 6 hours, guys, after work. Drove from California to Las Vegas, picked me up. By about an hour into the drive home, I started withdrawing. I didn't realize I wasn't done withdrawing in there, and I was like, "Oh my God, I fucked up." And I had to go withdraw at home. But,
that's so fucking vague,
yeah.
by the way. I drove from California to Las Vegas.
Right. Oh, dude, yes.
That could be 5 hours or that could be 15 hours.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Drove from basically L.A. to Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, okay, real quick, though, I did tell that story before on... Joel, which podcast was it? Which episode? Do you remember?
On the...
Oh, the one with just me and you, right?
Yeah, the Joel's all get dramatic.
No, the other one.
Joel
interviews Saul. So if anybody wants to check that out, the full story's on there. But back to your story, man.
Yeah. So, anyways, we had this talk, right? And so he.
Yeah. So wait, get us back into where we were.
Okay. So I was locked up this time in what's called H tank. It's a prison pod, and there was a guy that came in, snuck in some.
No. I know that. I know. So you were describing what the car was and all that.
Oh, the cars.
Take
So
right
there's different, man. So check it out. When you get locked up, depending on where you're at least in California, it's very, it's all based around politics.
Mm-hmm.
So there are northerners, which are norteños, or southerners, which are, sureños, or there are the Blacks Brothers, whatever you want to call them. There's Peckerwoods, White Boys, Skinheads. There's a lot of different prison gangs, but.
Yeah. Wait, so there's Peckerwoods and Skinheads that might be together but don't get along?
All people that are white that go to prison are not. Just,
I didn't know that.
There's several different
I had no...
cliques,
Did you know this,
gangs, subsets, whatever
I don't know.
I thought all
Sacramaniacs. There are... Yeah, there's
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's not just one. It's not just one race against the other. That's
not
how it works.
I just always assumed.
Others. So basically what happens in this prison pod where I was at the time... we had the majority, don't get me wrong. It was all mostly white boys. And I've been to Sac County where it's mostly not me. Yeah. So I've been outnumbered. But at this particular place, homeboy was very respectful with me. So I gave it right back to him. And I just had a talk with him and said, hey, your boy upstairs where we live, he's like throwing up all over his shit. And I'm not just because I'm a tank worker. I have my people coming to me and complaining about the shit because I was running stuff in there for about 8 months.
Right.
And he said, okay, well, I'll talk with him, this and that. I was like, cool, Mick, thank you, bro. I appreciate it. And he's done the same for me. He's had problems with, some of my people and came to me, and we've resolved it without ever having a riot in that pod.
For how long?
For the 8 months that I ran it until they removed me for politicking. Someone snitched on me for calling the shots in there, and I got put in ADSEG, which is 23 in 1. So 23 hours in a 6x8 and then 1 hour out. Fuck me,
that's fuck that.
For the rest of the 2 years. But so anyways, and then the day after that they did that, we had riots popping off literally the day after.
Mainly because you caused them, but that's another story.
Right, no, I passed some kites through the walls. No, dude, it was.
He had it set up because he was politicking.
Man,
if I ever get tossed out of here, riot immediately.
This guy,
and then call my buddy Joel Cow, and he'll pop his shoulder out real quick and sneak some drugs in through his asshole.
That guy did this to me. And swing his
I wouldn't go that far, dude.
Jello arm.
But you might.
Oh, you know I will.
So anyways, man, a couple nights later, and he tried, he made an effort. He would run downstairs and throw up on their shit. And,
Jesus Christ.
Sucks for them, but at least he was being respectful.
What's he, fucking Steve-O from Jackass? He's just purposely throwing up on people's shit.
Dude, this is not... You know what? There's a really sad ending to this story.
Hey, who's got goldfish?
Hey, we need goldfish in here.
Man, check it out. Let me just get through this because I don't like the story. I just
I
wanted to touch base
I'm sorry.
We're with you, man.
For sure.
That's all right.
Joel's like, Joel's all, now you see what I got to deal with.
So, a couple nights go by. He's still sick as fuck, but he's still got some Suboxone strips. You know, the 8 milligram little film strips. Everyone out there who's listening that's done them knows what they are. But he also had those little footballs, the Xanax footballs. I think they were 1 milligrams, right? That's what the footballs were. They weren't the bars. Yeah. But so anyways, I see him one night. I'm cleaning the pod. It's after shutdown, which was 10. This was dorm living, keep in mind. So like there was a top tier and a bottom tier, roughly 30 or 40 people on each tier.
Yeah.
And I'm doing my thing. I'm vacuuming, and I walk by, and he's not on his bunk anymore after I grab the vacuum, and he's in this corner in between bunks against the wall, the back wall where the the officer fucking whatever the post can't see, and he's sitting there, and I see his little book that he was crushing shit up on with his cards, and he's just like kind of limp.
The Bible.
It might have been. I don't know, but he was sitting there, right, and I'm like, fuck, dude, like you passed out, bro. What'd you do? Too much?
Oh no, hoodie. No.
And so my homeboy Kenny, you might be out there listening as well. I got you on Facebook at least. I haven't talked to you in a few years, but he goes, man down, starts yelling it, and the guards look up and they call, right? You see him get on the radio, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? He starts slapping dude, right? Boom, 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 slapping him in his face. He's not waking up. I do see him kind of breathing faintly. Kenny lays him on the ground, and he takes this big old breath. And then by the time the nurse got there, she took vitals, and she freaked the fuck out. And she said, everyone out to the yard right now. Everyone out to the yard right now, screaming, right? Yeah. And we're like, all of a sudden, it took a real weird turn. We're like, okay, fuck. So we all run out to the yard. You know, we're trying to like, fuck, you know, having any kind of backlash, or like, we're not trying to disagree with anyone right now. We're just trying to help this motherfucker live, right? Yeah. We get outside, and we're looking in through the little window, and we can watch, and we're seeing that it took the fucking nurse forever to get out there. If there's not a lawsuit against Placer County right now for that, Placer, Placer, if anyone wants to look it up, this shit did happen a few years ago.
What year?
This was 2016, I believe. All right. 2015, 2016, I can't remember.
What was the guy's name?
The dude, I forget his name, to be honest, but I know that well, anyways, besides the point, man, we get out there, we're watching, and we're looking up, and it's not looking good. 20 minutes later, we see EMTs running down the hallway.
20 minutes?
20 fucking minutes. That's what it seemed like to me, bro, but I promise you it was at least 15. We were out there just sitting there in crowds like, man, that's fucked, like, we're talking about it, right? And they get in there, they take him out.
Are they at least rushing when they get there?
The EMT is? Yeah. But the problem, my problem with it is that the hospital or whatever the EMTs came from is literally 3 or 4 minutes away. Oh, so when was this call made, and why did it take the nurse so long to get down there when we called man down? Right. This kid did die in front of my eyes. I watched him take his last breath. And it's because keep in mind, he had been in jail for a few days. It's not like he had a ton of shit in his system. He took Suboxone and he took Xanax. So for those of you that are out there listening, do not think that Suboxone cannot be dangerous, because it can. It fucks with your respiratory system.
Yeah, opiates and benzodiazepines. So
always a bad man.
Xanax is a benzodiazepine. So is Klonopin. So is Valium.
Dangerous. Suboxone is not an opiate, by the way.
It's Suboxone?
Yeah, it's not an opiate.
It has an opiate in it.
It's an opioid in the family, right?
So you're right. Yep, you're right. Yes, I misspoke. You're right. But you know what I mean.
Yes,
works on the opioid receptors in the brain. It's a downer, and anytime you combine downers, I mean alcohol too, if you can combine that with it, but especially opiates and opioids, if you combine them with benzodiazepines, another one is Ambien. They slow your heart rate down, and it slows it down so much, it's dangerous, deathly dangerous. If you go to methadone clinics, I know you've been before, Hoodie. I talked about it on an episode that I went on, the Joel interviews Saul episode. And when you go to those methadone clinics, what do? Sometimes they give you a random piss test. Right. And what are they testing for? Benzodiazepines especially, because if you have those in your system, you better damn well have a doctor that has written you a note saying that he knows you're also on the methadone, right? Because it's deathly dangerous and they will be held liable. And if you test positive for that, you are in huge trouble, and they won't give you your methadone that day, you know. And there's. But
my beef with the methadone clinics is that they also try to push this shit on you and keep you there.
Yeah.
Because they'll ask you, are you sure it's enough? Are you sure it's enough?
Because
even when I told them, like, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good actually the last few days. Okay, so are you sure that it's enough?
They're trained to do that.
Yeah, I know they are. They want to keep you there.
Yes.
That's why you see
because when you're there, you're not on the streets.
Lifers.
Right. When you're there, you're not on the streets. Those are not meant for methadone clinics. They're never meant for us to get off it. Never. And they don't advertise for us to. They don't advertise for us to. They don't ever tell addicts we're there to help you get off this.
Right.
They tell you straight up, we're here to park you here. We're here to give you, they call it methadone maintenance, Suboxone maintenance. It's there for you to ongoing take it for the rest of your life. And what they do is they will keep increasing your dose. So when you go and they're asking you these questions, is it enough? Are you comfortable? They're asking you that because they don't want you to all of a sudden be feeling some sort of withdrawal and go use. Because when you start, yes, but here's why.
That's what they say.
No, that is why. Because if you go use, That's the whole thing they're trying to prevent, is if you go use and then to get your drugs that you're using, you then are using needles again, and you could be exchanging dirty needles. You could also, which exchanges disease, and you can also be stealing or doing some sort of crime for that. You're also, there's now a market for those drugs to come in, and the whole reason of methadone clinics is harm reduction for society.
That's what they would like you to think, but I disagree.
No, it has nothing to do with us addicts. They could give less of a shit if we died.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that.
It's all about money for them, though, is my point.
As far as that, the business side of it. Yeah. But
because you go to some clinics and you're probably going to have the results that you're talking about and the people that actually give a fuck. I've been to some clinics that you can tell, and I've talked to people that have worked at them. It is purely money driven, just like rehabs, just like all of America.
Of course,
but
yeah.
Anyways, Joel, have you ever done or heard, for that matter, of methadone?
Hey, don't steer away from argument.
Let's get, because
you had some shit there. Keep going. Come at me.
My question is just like, okay, so methadone, right?
Right.
So we're talking about drug interactions. Mm-hmm. And my question is it bad to do downers and downers, uppers and uppers, or just downers and uppers in general?
All.
So combinations in general
can be dangerous. The most dangerous is to combine two of the samesies, as you would. Downers and downers can shut your respiratory system down. Uppers can give you a heart attack. I mean, there's several different side effects and risks for both, but it's, especially if you do enough of either combined, it's speedballs. I mean, it's all dangerous, dude. It is. I'm not a doctor, and I'm not going to tell you which one's more dangerous. I would just say, if you're out there and you're still using, try not to mix shit.
I'm not a doctor, but I will tell you which one is the most dangerous combo. It is absolutely the opiates or opioids mixed with a benzodiazepine. That is the most deadliest combo. I'm gonna have to agree with that too. Of those,
because of all this.
All right. Well,
so anyways,
I want to tell a funny little story.
Yeah, please do. I'm sorry to take it for
no,
a dark
that was
turn,
great.
guys.
Important, dude.
That was great, man. Unless, Joel, do you have any more questions? I'm sorry, man.
No, that was good for now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, man. When you started talking about buprenorphine and all that
came in
with the with the kratom, I just had to touch, because that was a story that you just reminded that I didn't have.
Yeah.
I haven't been thinking about for a while, and when you just reminded me, so I had to talk about it.
I'm glad you shared it.
Sorry, guys.
I could see you went right back into the moment. You could see that in your eyes. I mean, it brought you right back there. I was living in it, man. That was touching, and I appreciate you sharing it, man.
100%.
That was great.
So what do you got, man?
Lighten
the mood?
Yeah, let me take us the other way with it. So I went and saw Hoodie the other night. As a matter of fact, was this after the night that we had the podcast? When I left your house?
Good.
No, this wasn't podcast night, was it, guys? I don't know.
This was podcast night.
Okay. Right after we recorded the podcast the last time, we all leave. I think I must have left last, right? And I stayed a little later. And then and I was hammered, right? And I'm on the road, right? No. Yeah. But
as you always are.
I leave a little late. And I jump in my new vehicular device.
By the way, is that a G20, bro?
It's a Infiniti G20.
Nice.
Don't know if you've ever heard of it. Look it up. 1996 throwback. Yeah. It's probably older than most of us listeners.
By the way, guys, of course it's stick, so let's just keep that in mind.
Yeah, if you're not driving a stick, you're not even driving, dude. Are you even driving, bro? It is a stick shift. Yeah, and I'll be honest, dude, that thing's got fucking pop. You drove it, Hoodie.
I drove it with your e-brake on.
You drove it with my e-brake on, and it still popped, bro.
I had no idea, but it smelled good when we got to Walmart.
It did not smell good, and I was pissed. But
by good, I meant terrible.
Yeah, understandably.
Joel's going to drive it probably, tomorrow or the next day?
We're going to give it a little test drive.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. But, okay, so I take off from Hoodie's house, because that's where we did the last podcast, and I'm coming back home, and I decide, I'm going to take the G20 over. There's this little canyon area where just coming back from San Clemente to Mission Viejo, where we go over this. It's not really a dump. It's like I don't know what you want to call it. Is it a dump?
No, it actually is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I go through there, and as I'm going through there, I really open it up. I'm having a good time with it, and it was fun, right? Didn't get pulled over or anything. But then as I come down the hill, I'm like, let me get some gas. So I get some gas.
As him going downhill, let me give it some gas.
No, let me get some gas.
Oh, okay.
So I fill her up, and then as I'm pulling out of the gas station, I get to a light, and I see, there's like a car right up on me, and I can't see out the back window because it's got a shitty 1996 tint on it. It's all bubbled up.
Bubbly.
Right? So I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, fuck. But I could see it was a pretty big vehicle, and so I'm like, okay, probably a sheriff. I assumed it's midnight. I'm like, it's got to be a sheriff. So, side note, my registration from the guy that I bought it, it's 2 years old on the registration. I did pay at the DMV all this, but I still have to get it smocked.
Allegedly.
So the registration still shows up, 2 years old, and the tags are 2 years old. So I'm in front of him at the light. So I know that the sheriff's vehicles out here have this thing on the front of them that if they just line up with your license plate, it automatically runs your plate.
Mm-hmm.
So I just pop the clutch a little, and I just start rolling back and forth so that his thing couldn't catch the license plate.
Why don't you just brake check him and have him rear end you, man?
No, we were sitting at the light. I don't know where Hoodie was the last 2 seconds. Why don't you shut your fucking mouth and open your goddamn ears?
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
Damn, someo's getting smashed out right after this thing's done
sense
recording.
anger.
But
right, go ahead. At the light, you're doing some stupid shit. We're listening.
Saul needs to cool off with a Coca-Cola.
Yeah, drink your AM PM
I'm
drink,
just
man.
kidding. I'm teasing. But no, I love you, Hoodie. Please don't kill me.
Love you too, bro.
But
Still
no, I'm at the light, and so I just keep rolling a little bit back and forth so he can't run my plate. And I already know at this point I'm getting pulled over, who gives a shit. So rolling back and forth, and then I see he shines the light because he can't run my plate. So he shines the light in my side mirror, in my side mirror, right? The one on my driver's side. So it's automatic. So I use the automatic thing, and I shine it to where his light is now shining directly up into the sky, right?
That signal status?
Yeah, like copper,
Oh.
right? I'm fucked. So I pull over. Immediately before he puts the lights on, I knew it. No, but he's right on green.
As soon as he put the lights on, I knew.
Right on green. No, as soon as it went green, I was like, it's
okay.
Green, fucking whoop. So
Right.
I'm like, all right. So I pull over. He comes up to my window. He's like, "Are you all right tonight?" I said, "Are you?" And he's like, now he's like, now keep in mind, I had just got this vehicle, right? I had just picked it up.
You are referencing the G20, right?
The G20, and it's been sitting at this guy's house for like years, since 1996.
Yeah, so 20.
Right? And there's some garbage in it a little bit. I haven't cleaned it out is all, right? And it's guy is doing me a solid by giving me this vehicle, by the way. He's a really good guy. But so the cop and me at the same time turn to my right, and we see down by the driver's side, or the passenger side feet, there's an empty open container.
Lucky.
And I just look up at him, and I was like,
"That's yours, bro."
I was like, "Came with the car." And he just laughed, and I'm like, "I'm sure you've heard it all the time." I'm like, "I'll tell you what, man." I'm like, I'm actually
being framed.
I'm being framed. I'm like, I'm under arrest. So no, I tell him, yeah, I just bought the vehicle. I give him my registration. Not my registration, but the stuff that I had gotten from the DMV because I had paid for it. And I give him my license. I give him the insurance. I give him all that stuff. And I'm being real cooperative and real good. And I tell him, I am a drug addict, by the way, before he even goes to walk away. I say, I'm a drug addict. I've been sober since November 7th of last year. And
immediately after he asked if you had any needles or drugs in the car.
And I said, only the ones up my ass. But I was like, he asked me where I'm headed. I said, actually right back to my sober living house where I said I live there. I work there as well. I said, I'm a postman during the day, podcaster and house manager at night.
Night. Spoken like a true Batman.
I love Batman. You really know how to fire a guy up, don't you? But so
go on.
So then, so the cop says, he goes, "Oh, good for you, man. Good for you." He's like, "That's great," you know. And I said, "As a matter of fact, I'm like, I'll make things easy on you. I'm like, if you want to, because he says, you know, I'm just gonna grab that empty container. I'm gonna have my partner grab the empty container out of your car, check, make sure it's warm, and of course, you know, it was. You know, he's like, oh yeah, this thing's been in here for years, you know. So he's like, yeah, no problems at all. I said, as a matter of fact, if you just make it easy on you, I'm like, if you want to search me or the vehicle, anything you want, go right ahead. You know,
that's how you know you're not doing
a
anything
white guy.
wrong.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how you know Saul is white, guys.
No, I'm teasing.
Man,
I'm teasing.
No one would
teasing.
ever. Well, not in my shoes, where I've ever been. I still won't to this day. I'll be cooperative, but also fuck you. I have places to be.
Yeah,
because once you do that, man, you give them if they have any type of suspicion or anything else, and you're being too cooperative, like trust me, they have people that get pulled over that are high that think they're doing reverse psychology. It's like, yeah, you can search my shit. There's nothing in there. He's turning to his buddy. They're going to let me go. No, that's not how it fucking works. So I'm surprised you didn't get held up for longer, to be honest.
Here's what happened. Well, they can also tell. They know if you're high or not by talking to you, you know. But here's the thing, too. It was the greatest feeling in the world when I'm sitting at that light knowing that I was going to be pulled over and that I could fuck with him a little bit. And I wasn't fucking with him to be a bad guy. I love cops. I don't love... whoa, that was disgusting.
I have a new bumper sticker for you, pal.
I don't love cops, but I respect the fact that nobody can do that job.
There's nothing wrong with cops.
There's
man, check it out.
No, they're human beings, and we're all flawed.
So it's a matter of respect.
No, we're all flawed people, and a person can never do that job. I'm sorry, we're too flawed to be able to carry a gun and uphold the law.
Against cops.
I don't either. I know you don't.
As much shit as I've been into, if you're gonna be respectful to me, you're gonna get it right back. Just like I said, in all aspects of life, I have no problem.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I've been doing stupid shit and gotten, had to go away for a while because of them. But they're doing their fucking job. They have families and shit. I got nothing but the utmost respect. And anyone who disagrees with that, guess who's keeping you safe at night? So.
Allegedly, no.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, allegedly, some they're not. They're also.
No, they are, and they're putting their lives on the line every night, you know, and they're not. It's not like they're getting paid huge, you know. They're just making it by two, and they're people. They're people is the bottom line, and to me, we all gotta. They're
treat
people.
Each other.
People are people, and we gotta love each other. But so my point was, you know, I'm at the light, and it was a freeing feeling knowing that I am gonna get pulled over, and that's okay, you know. It was the best feeling in the world to be able to kind of joke around with him and know that was gonna
for sure
that was gonna be all right. And God damn it, that really just was great.
Right.
But
we'll put that in the comments.
What was really cool was so he does say, he goes, okay, let me pull you out of the car, you know. I said, okay, and he does start searching my car, and he pats me down. He finds my vape juice in my pocket, you know, and my vape. And and the one cop says, oh, what are you vaping? You know, takes a fucking hit off my vape, dude. He takes a hit off later, not right away. This was later once they got more comfortable with me.
Bro?
But the one dude's, hanging out with me for a minute, and then as we're talking a little more, after they don't find anything in my car and they've run my background, everything's good on the car and me, and we're joking. I tell them about the podcast. We listened to a little bit of the podcast, by the way, a little bit of the introduction episode. The one dude takes a hit off my vape, and then I immediately shut the podcast off on the introduction episode just as it gets to the part where I talk about shoving meth into my fucking vape. And I'm like, yep, that's enough of the podcast.
Yes,
why don't you finish this episode at home?
Get the gist?
See you later. Big gulps, huh? See you later.
Man, dude, how did you get them to listen?
Well, because when the one dude... I can't really say how I got him to listen, Hoodie, because that can't be announced yet.
Yeah,
but
right.
I can say this. There is an announcement coming. There's something being set up where I am going to do an interview with a major... What are we going to call it? A major network?
Yeah.
Something
with a major network. They reached out to us via email. And the date and the name of the network and who I'm going to be doing with it is coming soon. It is going to bring us out to Nevada, though. When we do come out to the Nevada, it's going to be within the next couple weeks here, guys. Maybe. More
than likely.
Yeah. And when we do come out there, we want to do what's called the Vegas trials. And all of us, all the Vegas people, we want to come through and we're going to start interviewing all you guys, have you come on the podcast. We're going to do the Vegas series, Vegas trials, and bring you all on. But so Major Network reached out to us via email. They want me to come on, and actually I asked them. I said, "Is it okay if I bring Joel on the show with me?" And,
yeah.
They said they'd love him. So so Joel's gonna come on too. I would have asked for Hoodie too, but he wasn't co-hosting yet
That's all right.
at the time of it. But he is gonna be Hoodie is gonna be down in Vegas with us holding the clipboard.
That's right.
And but Hoodie's gonna be a part of our podcast, of course, when we do all of our Vegas trials down there.
Of course.
But you know what, guys? Guess what time it is? It's that time
to start another episode. No, I'm kidding. I'm so fucking tired, man.
But
yeah.
Hoodie worked like 12 hours before coming over here. I spent the day at the DMV. That was another story. I did get those tags eventually. I do have tags on my G20 now. Joel came and then pretended he had reasons he had to leave me at the DMV like a jerk.
I heard you took an Uber, man. Is that true?
It might have been a Lyft.
He took a Lyft and just
Do you even Lyft, bro?
he took a left and left me at the DMV.
Like a good citizen.
He took I'm gonna leave you.
All right, we're done.
Yeah, we are done. All right, guys. I just want to remind everybody again, go to our website at thisournormalpodcast.com. Hit that contact link, especially if you're in the Nevada area, specifically Las Vegas, and you want to be on the show. Let us know, and we will set that up for when we come out to Las Vegas. Do it soon. Do it now, because this is happening soon. Also hit the contact link if you have any questions for the show, questions for guests, prior guests, whatever. There's links to iTunes, Spotify, Google Play Music, Stitcher, all that good stuff. You guys know the deal. You guys know it by now. You know what to do. Go to our social media pages, hit like, follow us, subscribe, do all that. If you want to support the podcast, please go to iTunes, hit subscribe, then leave us a 5-star rating. And most importantly, with the 5-star rating, please leave us a review comment. That will desperately help us get ranked and charted, and we really need that. That will help the podcast grow.
Seriously, guys.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. Please help us out.
Definitely. This has not...
Yeah. And a comment.
Hell yeah. And this has not only been an episode of This Is Our Normal Podcast, but this has been our middle of the week episode of the Three Amigos. This is your normal podcast episode. I am your host, Saul Jones. I'm sitting here with Joel Cowan.
Hey.
Have a good evening. And your co-host, Brian Hoodie.
Don't call me Sweatshirt.
Don't call me Sweatshirt. Good night, guys.